Namaste. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Gurudev. It's a great joy for me to be here in Ujjain, the holy city. And I'm sorry that we started a bit late. There was a technical problem, so I have to condense my presentation a little bit. And I'm running since 1972 the Maharishi Ayurveda Health Center in the former palace of Emperor William I. Let me just since we start almost half an hour late. Can I have more time? I can have more time. Okay. And this is a very historic place. It has 6 healing water springs. And we're treating there with Panchakarma. We have treated more than 30,000 people over the time. And with our team of about 90 people, the clinic has received about 35 national and international prestigious awards. Many ministers of health in Ayurveda from the government came to visit our clinic. And this is a picture of my teacher, His Holiness Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. I have been practicing Transcendental meditation and worked for his organization over the last 49 years. And I just wanted to show you a little video, just a moment, what Maharishi says about Ayurveda.
United consciousness felt
the Ayurveda will be projected as the most supremely evolved system of perfect health from both points of view, prevention and cure. The most supreme approach to perfect health, the most profound system of maintaining perfect health, most profound system of maintaining perfect health, because it deals with consciousness, it deals with mind, body, senses, the whole environment. It deals with all levels of manifestation of life, and it deals with that holistic value of life which permeates all these different levels of expression, and that is self-referent state of pure consciousness.
So when Maharishi came out to teach Transcendental meditation, it became very popular in the Western world. And after some years, Maharishi, his goal was to bring enlightenment to the people of the world, to raise the collective consciousness. And he realized that it's necessary to bring out also the other approaches of Ayurveda for the good health of the world, and to unfold our consciousness. And at that time, Ayurveda was not known, and Maharishi worked with the greatest Vaidyas from India at that time, in the end of the 70s, beginning of 80s, like the people you see here, Dr. Triguna, Dr. Divedi, they were the most famous Vaidyas. And Maharishi conducted many conferences with the family traditions of India, because lots of things got lost through the British rulership in India. But all the aspects of Ayurveda were maintained in the family traditions, but not as a wholeness. And Maharishi brought it all together again. And this revived way we call Maharishi Ayurveda, we refer also back to the ancient Maharishis, Charaka, Shudra, Bhagavad. They were also called the Maharishis, the great seers. He organized many conferences also with Western doctors. And we have organized our organization 7 international conference. The next one will be in Pune in January 2025. And the motto is to create disease-free society. I know that this sounds very ambitious, But what I have seen over the last 30 years, also in my clinic, treating over 30,000 people with chronic diseases, I think if Ayurveda would be introduced already in the kindergarten, it is possible after a few years, after a few generations, to really create an increasingly disease-free society. I'm often asked from the press what is actually the difference between Ayurveda and modern medicine. Ayurveda is of course holistic, but one unique feature out of many is that we know from Ayurveda that all diseases come because of imbalances. Imbalances in the mind, in the body, in the emotions, from the environment. And these imbalances, they gradually develop in 6 stages. And modern medicine, which of course has many merits also, modern medicine can detect diseases from the Ayurvedic point of view when they already have reached stage number 5. And with the Nadi Vigyan, the pulse reading, which Maharshi has revived, we can detect the diseases already in the earlier stages. And when you detect diseases before they actually manifest fully, you can treat them very easily with diet, with proper daily routine, with herbal products, with detoxification, with yoga, and with transcendental meditation. So here you see how the pulse diagnosis is being done. It takes only 2 minutes for an experienced provider to get a good feeling about it. And then when we detect the diseases, we have like 20 different treatment modalities to treat the imbalances, so that disease doesn't have to come. And I will be focusing today on one treatment modality, and that is the approach of consciousness. In this case, we recommend especially the technique of transcendental meditation. Now, I don't want to disappoint you from the announcement of my talk today. You may have got the impression that I would be teaching you transcendental meditation. That is not possible in one session. We need about 7 days, 2 hours a day to learn the technique of transcendental meditation. But I will give you an overview about the benefits of TM. So I go straight into the topic. TM has been practiced, learned, as taught by Maharshi by more than 11 million people from all walks of life in the last 16 years. And it's very unique in the sense that it's easy to learn, easy to practice, everybody can do it. You do it sitting comfortably with eyes closed for about 15-20 minutes a day. And it does not require any change of lifestyle and belief. I'm just coming from Poland. I'm a professor at Dr. Patel University, and we have just taught 100 students of the Ayurveda College the technique of transcendental meditation. And it's just such a wonderful experience to see that every student already in the first day succeeded in experiencing the pure consciousness, the Atma, the inner self. And you see a huge transformation even after a few days of practicing transcendental meditation. Transcendental meditation is the most researched program for personal unfoldment of consciousness, and there are about 600 scientific studies that have been conducted in the last 40 years in more than 250 independent universities around the world. And I just wanted to give you a little background about connecting the latest discoveries of modern science with the ancient Vedic science. You can see here the chart, and you see here below the society, the body. It's not so clear the picture, so I'll have to tell you. We are now going into deeper levels of the physiology. So our body is built out of the different systems. The nervous system, the immune system, the endocrine system, the hormone system. And what is the basis of these systems are the different organs. Heart, lung, liver, kidney, etc. Now we go deeper in the body. These organs, they are based off the different tissues. Tissues are based on the cells. Cells are based on the cellular components, and they are built out of RNA and finally DNA. And you know, DNA contains the entire genetic information in every single cell. This is so tiny, you can still see it with the electronic microscope on a level of 10 to the minus 5 centimeters. Now if you go deeper, then we come to the laws of chemistry, and if we go still deeper, we come to the quantum physics. And here we find 4 forces: the electromagnetic field, all your smartphones and GPS, all this is built on the electromagnetic field. We don't see it, but it's penetrating everything. So then we have the strong and the weak interaction forces that keep the atoms together, and we have the gravitation. And Einstein knew that there must be one underlying field from where all these different force and matter fields rise. And some years later, his colleagues, Max Planck, Niels Bohr, Heisenberg, they have evolved quantum physics. And it was discovered only a few decades ago that there is one underlying field which is called the unified field of all the laws of nature, which is the basis of all the laws of nature. And that is functioning from a level of 10 to the minus 33 centimeters or 10 to the minus 43 seconds. That's an area of life where time and space, they melt into a new dimension. Now, I have studied under Maharshi's leadership. I spent 7 years in the monastery where we have practiced very deep transcendental meditation and trance programs. We studied consciousness, and then we compared the discovery of modern science with the ancient Vedic sciences. And to cut the story short, the unified field that has been discovered by modern physics is equal to Atma, the self, or Samadhi, or Brahman, the absolute value of life, which is permeating everything. And for the Vedic sciences and technologists, it's possible for every man, you see here on the left part of the chart with the technique of transcendental meditation, to experience the Atma in a very simple way. Within a few hours you can learn how to do it. And it's really an experience where the mind just settles down, settles down, and experiences a fourth state of consciousness in a restful alertness. Just imagine the ocean. There are lots of waves, lots of activities, lots of wind. And when the activities start to calm down, when the wind completely calms down, and the waves have settled down completely, what happened to the wave? The wave has disappeared and has become the unbounded ocean. Now our mind is always outwardly directed. And during transcendental meditation, we learn how to transcend. It means to go beyond and experience within a few minutes samadhi, which people thought is very difficult to reach, where the mind is just experiencing the pure consciousness. And a lot of scientific research has been done, for example here with the brainwave activities during transcendental meditation. And I have selected especially for you today a small video clip, 1.5 minutes, where they have measured the brainwave activities during transcendental meditation.
What I'd like to do now is actually show you how the brain changes dramatically as a person begins the transcendental meditation technique. So what I've done is selected 4 points on the scale. This front top one is the front left of the brain. This bottom 4th one is the front right. These are eye blinks here. These 2 are in the back part of the brain. So those are the eyes of the front part of the brain, that's your executive centers. The back is your visual processing center. The point I want you to notice is a number of things. What's going on in the front of the brain is different than what's going on in the back. Also notice how active, how thick these signals are. This is very fast processing. What we'll do now is we'll have Dariana close her eyes and she'll begin the TM technique. And what you'll notice is one thing is this fast activity will begin to disappear and you see very slow rhythmical activity. And you'll also see it in all the different sensors. So now close your eyes and begin to meditate.
Now she's starting to meditate. You see, a few seconds already, the brain
6 seconds. And now notice this back part of the brain, here's rhythmical alpha activity. It's first seen here in the back of the brain, because this is your visual center. You close your eyes, that part of the brain can rest. Notice as well, we see this rhythmical resting rhythm of the cortex here in the front of the brain. That whole mental chatter that's constantly going on, evaluating, deciding, planning, worrying. All of that is settling down as the whole conscious experience is becoming more full and complete. What we'll do now is just watch the brainwaves for about 2 minutes or whatever it is. So you can stop meditating now. Notice as soon as I spoke, the frontal alpha disappears. What happens is during TM the attention is turned within. All the mental awareness is settling down. You hear a sound, attention goes without. And as attention goes out, localized parts of the brain are processing. So the point I wanted you to see is how quickly the brain changes and how it's really fundamentally different than just waking, eyes closed experience.
So this happens already in the first meditations. And we're talking here about the fourth major state of consciousness. Usually people know only 3 states of consciousness: waking, dreaming, and sleeping. And each state of consciousness has its own physiological correspondence. I showed another so. Pardon? What it does actually is that all the different parts of the brain, they become synchronous. They show the same frequency. I have a few more slides where you will understand better. Just a moment. Now what we see here in this chart is we have here first in the left bar a group that just learned Transcendental meditation on the same day. And they have connected 20 electrodes on different parts of the brain. And when they show 95% the same frequency, then it's called coherence, in this case alpha waves. And you see here that during the practice, alpha waves already are there. Then you see in the second left bar, a group that has been meditating for 4 months. And you see already a much bigger range of frequencies become coherent. And what is very interesting is that after meditation for 10 minutes in the activity, the brain already is able to maintain this coherent style function. Now, then you see the group that meditates for 5 years and longer. You see the increasement of coherence, and finally the group that has been meditating for more than 15 years. So there is a constant growth of consciousness for the regularity of the practice of Transcendental meditation. So here you see the alpha coherence of the brain maps for waking, relaxation, and transcending is the highest control. Now this is leading to increased creativity, intelligence, field independence, mental efficacy, and abstract intelligence. They all grow as a result of better brain functioning. And I have to go a little bit faster today because we lost so much time in the beginning. I cannot go into all the charts. But what I wanted to show you here is the significance in the rest. So if you close the eyes, your skin resistance, they go up maybe 50 kilo ohm, or if you watch the sunset or something nice. And when you practice TM, the rest measured in the skin resistance is 4 times deeper than other relaxation programs. Then we see the respiration rate goes down, the breathing activity goes down, And you also see that the stress hormones, they go down. A big problem in today's world is fear and anxiety. And there are worldwide, at the moment when the study here was done many years ago, there were 146 studies measuring the effects of relaxation techniques to reduce fear and anxiety. And they have made a meta-analysis of this. They have made one study out of 146. And what we see here in the blue bar is that Transcendental is more than twice as effective as all other meditation techniques to reduce fear and anxiety. This is my favorite study. It was done by the biggest health insurance company in America. It's called UCC23. They have 500,000 members, out of which 2,000 are practicing TM, Transcendental meditation. And they have compared their data objectively, the health insurance, over a period of 5 years. And they saw that the costs for treating heart diseases went down 87%. The costs for treating cancer tumors went down by 56%, and nervous disorders even by 94%. And today in the world, there are 8 health insurance companies that have compared the expenditures of people who practice TM with their other members. And even in the first year, the costs, just by closing the eyes twice a day and practicing this simple technique, went down by more than 20%. And it's really very fascinating to see. You can go to my website and see more studies. I will give you some links later on. The following study was financed by the American government, National Institute of Health. They have given a grant of $5 million to the cardiologists, the American Heart Association, and they told them, look for the effectiveness of different natural therapies to help people with hypertension. Now these cardiologists, they were discussing for many months how to do the study, and they decided for the most difficult cases. These were Afro-Americans, men, above 55 years old, who had been suffering from hypertension for more than 20 years, the most difficult group. And then they were offering either a combination of diet and exercise, or progressive muscle relaxation, or transcendental meditation. And you see here the TM was 7 times more effective as the combination of diet and exercise, and 4 times more effective than the muscle relaxation. There are many studies that have been done by the American Heart Association. They were sponsored, and the American Heart Association has now stated that transcendental meditation is the only technique that can significantly reduce high blood pressure, killer number 1. And we have here a lady from Luxembourg, and I'm happy to mention to you that the health ministry in Luxembourg has sent a letter to all the doctors. When people suffer from hypertension, they should recommend transcendental meditation. The aging process is slowed down by people who practice TM. Aging is enhanced through stress, basically. And they have taken here a group who has been 2,000 people, average age 40 years. They have very specific data, seeing ability, hearing ability, stress hormones in the blood pressure, depression. And they have compared those 2,000 meditators with the whole population of America. And what they found is that the people who were meditating for 5 years, up to 5 years, their biological age was 5 years younger. And the long-term meditators, their biological age was even 12 years younger. The latest research in this field is presented by my colleague on the 30, Dr. Meyer, that even the telomere, the gene expressions, they change very significantly when people meditate. They live longer. TM has a great benefit for social behavior. We have greater appreciation of others. We have found in many schools decreased depression amongst the students. We have programs running in the military for the veterans. And in America, the Pentagon is paying to help the soldiers who come back from the war, who are traumatized, and they found that TM is the best way to do it. They did a lot of studies on that, improved work relationships. We have many companies in India, thousands of companies who have introduced transcendental meditation. We develop greater appreciation of other, more tolerance, and it also has a very positive effect on the world consciousness. Maharishi predicted already in the 60s when he came out that when 1% of a given population is practicing TM, that the crime rate and other negative trends will go down. And it was found 10 years later in American cities, everywhere the crime rate was going up, every year 8 to 10%. But there were some cities, 12 cities in the beginning, where they found that the crime rate went down by 10% every year. And these were exactly the cities where 1% had learned and practiced transcendental meditation. We have been offering big groups, like this study here in Washington, D.C., where we have assembled 4,000 advanced meditators, and the study was designed by 35 professors who were not meditating from independent universities, together with the data of the FBI. And it was found that as the number of the group reached that number that is required, which is the square root of 1%, then all the negative trends went down. And the latest study was just published a few months ago in the World Journal of Social Scientists. We need for America a group of 2,000 advanced meditators, and this study went over 17 years. And as you see here in the blue line, we had reached that number because of a generous donor in Fairfield, Iowa, where Maharishi University is in Vedic City. We have reached the required number of 1,700, 2,000 people. And you see that during that time, murder, rape, assault, robbery, infant mortality, truck deaths, vehicle accidents, and children deaths by injuries went down significantly. And when the group had to be dissolved because the funding wasn't there, all these negative values, they were rising again. So my colleague Dr. Momaya, he will just focus for 20 minutes on this kind of research, and I'm very happy to say, and watch what will happen. We are, the Maharishi organization, Maharishi Universities, organized a demonstration to give the world a taste of peace from 29th of December to 13th of January, so very soon, in Hyderabad. We will have 10,000 people come from all over the world to practice together these programs, and we expect, as in previous experiments, a very noticeable positive result. So to summarize, the one technique of transcendental meditation is like watering the root of life. And the root of life is the pure consciousness, the Atma, ourselves. Now to learn transcendental meditation, there are 7 steps of learning. We could say almost today you have completed the first step, to learn about the benefits of transcendental meditation. The second presentation explains how does the technique actually work. What is the difference between TM and other forms of meditation, and where does it come from? It comes from the ancient Vedic tradition of masters, from the Shankaracharya tradition. And then we have a personal interview with the teacher of transcendental meditation. You cannot learn it from books or from YouTubes. You can only learn it from teachers who have been personally trained by Maharishi. And then there is the personal instruction, which takes about an hour and a half. And then there are 3 consecutive days of understanding the practice. You see, when you start to meditate, you have many questions. What shall I do when other thoughts come? Do I meditate before or after eating? What do I do when I get disturbed? That is what you will learn one day after learning TM. On the second day, you have already had 4 meditations. And you will be able to understand how the nervous system and the consciousness work together. You will understand what are stresses, how have they come in the system, and how do they get resolved. On the basis of your own experience. On the 7th and the final step of learning TM is you will learn how higher states of consciousness develop. Just to mention briefly, there are 7 states of consciousness: waking, sleeping, sleeping and dreaming state of consciousness. This is what everybody experiences. Then during transcendental meditation, you experience in a very blissful, effortless way transcendental consciousness, where the rest is twice as deep as during sleep, but you're fully alive inside. And through the regular practice, as all stresses get released, you develop the fifth state of consciousness. This is called cosmic consciousness, where the inner unbounded silence is maintained while your eyes are waking, dreaming, or sleeping. In cosmic consciousness, we live in complete harmony with all the laws of nature. Our desires will get fulfilled very quickly. But this is not the end of our evolution. The sixth state of consciousness is called Bhagavad Chetana, God consciousness, refined cosmic consciousness, where we can perceive the celestial values of life. And the seventh state of consciousness, the ultimate goal of enlightenment, highest state of enlightenment, is called Brahmichetana, unity consciousness, where you see the absolute value in yourself, not only in yourself, but also in other people, in everything. This is Vedanta, from within, unity consciousness. It's really worthwhile to unfold our consciousness. Just imagine we live at the moment, the average human being lives maybe 5 or 10% of the mind. And with this ancient Vedic sciences, which has been confirmed, we can unfold all the higher states of consciousness and create enlightenment for the individual and invincibility for the nation of the world. So it's a very beautiful program, and you don't have to believe in it. These are all facts. When you start to practice, the benefits will just grow. Here we have some websites. Maybe you want to take a picture of the websites here. The International Martial Ayurveda Foundation, and my clinic, my personal website. But the most important website I forgot to mention here, and that is tm.org. TM for Transcendental Meditation. tm.org. Thank you very much. I must say I have my next speaker is, who is the next speaker? I was given a little bit more time because we started half an hour later. So I shortened my presentation, but I would like to give the audience the opportunity, a few minutes, to ask questions. Was it all clear for you? So do you have any questions on this? Yes? Can you speak a little bit louder? How it works? So the question is to tell a little bit about the technique itself. So the technique itself is that the mind has the nature to always look for happiness. Whatever we do in life, we do to gain more happiness. So you come here to meet nice people, to get new knowledge, so that you can grow. But even unintentionally, if we talk about something interesting here, and in the other room somebody would start to play some nice music, then you would notice that you're not listening to me, but that your attention went to the music, right? So the mind always wants to go for more happiness, and the transcendental consciousness, ourself, is by nature Ananda. Satchidananda, bliss consciousness. So we just have to learn how to let go, to let the mind go where it wants to go anyway. So we have to close our eyes, and then we learn the technique. And the technique has basically two components. One component is a mantra, that is a very specific sound that suits the individual, that is capable of taking the mind without effort to the transcendence. And so the mantra is chosen individually. It has to suit to the person. And the second thing we have to learn is the technique how to use it properly. So the mantra you could learn in an hour, but the technique how to use it takes about 4 or 5 days to learn it. But there is a preparatory talk, So we have in Luxembourg colleagues, I can give you the contact, or go to tm.org, and they have these lectures. It's a standardized way of teaching transcendental meditation. All teachers have the same training, like my dear friend Petranko from Croatia, who is also a teacher of transcendental meditation. Any other questions? No more questions? You have a question? Well, I want to thank you so much for your attention, and I wish you all the best for your life.